Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, dwyervip.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. You know, this weekend, the weekend of Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez 4, has a second fight that might even be, from a boxing perspective, from an action perspective, even better than that. And if you're a hardcore fight fan, but you don't want to spend the money on a pay-per-view, right? These pay-per-views have gotten expensive. If you want to get your fix for a high-action fight between two guys who know their way around the ring and who could end the fight by KO, and who have differing fight styles, then I encourage you to watch this week's edition of Friday Night Fights. It features a great fight between Manny Pacquiao's primary sparring partner, Ray Beltran. And keep in mind, Beltran is world class. His last fight, he beat Hank Lundy, right? It's Ray Beltran against Hoon Kim. And understand, Kim is a guy who, it goes one way or the other. He knocked out Ahmed Diaz in one round. And of course, he himself got stopped, I believe in the first or second round, against Leonardo Zapravinha. Right? Let's talk about the contrasting styles. It's definitely worth mentioning. Ray Beltran is that rare fighter who doesn't seem to mind if you are throwing high volume and you're ultra aggressive. Right? Because Ray Beltran, whoever you are, he's gonna try to come forward. If he believes he can get inside, he's going to go ahead and get inside, right? You could be a rainstorm. You could be a typhoon. Ray Beltran is not afraid. He's going to try to come forward. He's going to try to mix it up with you. My gut tells me, and I'm just speculating here, that based on styles, when he's in the ring with Manny Pacquiao, he's coming forward at least 50% of the time, right? And he's not afraid to let his hands go. And so, of course, against Hank Lundy, a must-watch fight, he had the hard-hitting, big-talking Hank Lundy backing up for much of that fight, right? Against Sharif Bogaray, let's just say that Bogaray is known for very fast starts. The guys doing the telecast gave the first round to Beltran. In fact, one of them commented that Beltran, about 2 minutes in, must have determined that he was the stronger fighter, because Beltran was on his front foot. Bogaray was the one backing up. And understand, the first 2 rounds is where Bogaray got most of his KOs. Right? Beltran, whether it's Manny Pacquiao or Hoon Kim, he's not going to be afraid. He's going to try to come forward. He's going to try to mix it up. Now let's talk about Hoon Kim for a moment. People know that I have mixed feelings about mid-range hookers. Guys who throw power shots but have to do it with hooks. They don't throw straight punches, right? Well, let's just say that Hoon Kim fought lightweight champion Miguel Vasquez, and Vasquez's straighter punches and jab rule the day, right? Vasquez was able to maintain distance between himself and Hoon Kim behind a jab and behind ring savvy. People know that I consider Vasquez to be one of the best in the sport, pound for pound. But there are those matches where Hoon Kim's volume and hooks are just too debilitating to an opponent. So he fought an unbeaten Alicia Romanoff, right? Unbeaten. And of course, in that 10-round fight, believe it or not, According to CompuBox, Hoon Kim threw more than 1,200 punches. The guy is a punch machine. And if you can't defuse the bomb with a straight jab and distance like Miguel Vasquez did, then you better be prepared to land some bombs of your own like Leonardo Zapravina did. If you can't do either, if you don't have the punching power, you're in for a very long night. Now let me just say, both Beltran and Kim have better than 50% KO ratios. If I had to bet the fight, if someone had a gun to my head and said, how do you bet this fight? I would take both guys by knockout. It's a dangerous play because understand, Kim has gone the distance in his last 3 fights. Right? The Lundy-Beltran fight went the distance. Right? It's a dangerous play, but my point to you is you have one guy who's willing to be on his front foot, even in the middle of a monsoon, against another guy who throws more than 100 punches around and who has a punch, is throwing a disproportionate amount of power shots. In my opinion, something has got to give. One thing is certain though. If you're a fight fan, this is a must-see fight. This is one you don't want to miss. As I said before, I would not be surprised if, during the weekend of Pacquiao and Marquez, DeGale and Zeninga, right, and other fights, I would not be surprised if this fight is the one everyone is talking about early next week. It's going to be action-packed. Let me hear from you. Hope you enjoy the fight. It's taking place tomorrow, not on pay-per-view, on regular TV. Hope you enjoy the fight. It's gonna be a barn burner. And keep in mind too, this isn't just a token fight between two interesting fighters. No, this is actually a fight between two guys who legitimately have title aspirations. Okay, as I mentioned before, Hoon Kim has beaten people like Amef Diaz. And as I mentioned before, Ray Beltran has beaten Hank Lundy. So these are legitimate lightweight contenders squaring off on free TV. It's worth a look. Let me hear from you. Tell me how you see the fight going. Give me your thoughts. Thanks for stopping by.